There's a moment in your bones when the fire takes over. Blood is running, heart is pumping as the battle gets closer. They can say what they want now, 'cause we'll be screaming now. We can be heroes everywhere we go. We can have all that we ever want. Singing like Ali, rocking our bodies, standing on top like a champion. Keep your heart silver, give me that gold. You'll remember when I say we can be heroes everywhere we go. Keeping us down is impossible. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable.
Magandang gabi mga summoners at maligayang pagbabalik dito sa 2018 Black Ops Pro Gaming Series. So, bago namin pag-usapan yung pangyayari kanina, kilala mo na kami bilang inyong casters, Arcticat, Surfam, at syempre kasama ko yun si Chisto.
Yeah, and I think the story for that game, we saw the role swap between Ivalice and Hate, and it worked out for IPT. So, mukhang yung mga tanong natin going into Game 1, nasagot yun. And I think Hate performed beautifully in the jungle role for that game. And I think it was really one of the key factors kung bakit nanalo yung IPT over Varsity X Rage Esports.
Speaking of Varsity X Rage Esports, I mean, looking at that end of the spectrum for IPT, I'd have to agree with you. Talagang ang ganda ng performance and it's really paying off yung nakita nating switcheroo between Ivalice and Hate. But looking at BRE naman, what do you think went wrong for them in that game?
I think for BRE, they had a very straightforward draft where with the Olaf, you needed to win early. You really had to have an impact so that he could transition into fights. Unfortunately, yung pieces from BRE, the side lanes fared well. Unfortunately, in the mid lane, Jaime really got shut down a lot given that the gank pressure was onto him, and the setup was very easy given that it was a Ryze and a Jarvan. You just root it with the Ryze W and Jaime will go down. So unfortunately, the Orianna was just so far behind and Jaime wasn't able to reach that point kung saan kaya na niya maging effective in the team fight, and he did land the shockwaves. Unfortunately, they weren't the game-winning 4-man, 5-man shockwaves onto the members of IPT. They just got too tanky at some point and there really wasn't anything Jaime could do from mid lane.
Such a shame for Varsity X Rage Esports. But of course, gaya nga ng pinag-usapan namin kanina, this is a best of 5 between both teams. So, medyo may space pa tong Varsity X Rage Esports na makabawi going into Game 2. Pero syempre, depende pa rin yan sa kung ano makita natin as early as the drafting phase going into the actual game. Syempre, even with good draft on paper, if you couldn't execute really or at least play to which phase you're most prominent, then that could ultimately spell problems for either team.
Yeah, pero binanggit mo, this is a best of 5 Arctic, and in a best of 5 series, you'd have to favor the more experienced team in Imperial Pro Team kasi yun nga, Varsity X Rage Esports are the newest faces in the Pro Gaming Series, so yun nga, you'd have to give the experience edge onto IPT, who are probably more used to best of 5s compared to BRE.
I'd have to agree with you there, man. But overall, I mean, talking about Varsity X Rage Esports real quick, I gotta give kudos to them because in all fairness, like, it's been quite crazy, this group stage natin. But one of the people that really stood out for me as far as the team, probably XDXP in my opinion, not only as one of the junglers that I really enjoyed watching nung earlier weeks natin, but also just because of what value he brings to the table. And I've actually got the opportunity to talk to kanyang love of his life, na si Annalyn, and I actually like the insights that she brought in kasi naglalaro rin siya ng LoL, and talagang one of the reasons why I feel BRE, in which she actually confirmed herself, was kung titignan mo si XDXP, not only gaya ng sabi ko, he's a great jungler, but he also brings to the table yung sipag and kind of brings the team together in a way as far as what we managed to see nung previous weeks leading up to yung improvement na nakita natin sa BRE. And I think that's such a key factor to have naman talaga when you're in a team environment, to have that, at least that person to gear everybody together towards going the proper path. And realizing and collaborating kung ano yung mga kailangan baguhin, what weaknesses you might need to improve on. And I think that has pretty much led off to the playoffs that we're seeing from BRE. Yun nga lang, bigger question pa rin is it enough going up against a veteran team like IPT?
Yeah, and we're talking about XDXP here, the jungler for Barca X3 Esports, and you mentioned the previous weeks, especially in the group stage of the PGS. One of the things I really liked about him is siya yung una nagdadala ng mga bagong junglers into the meta. During the patches, he was the first to bring out the Nunu. He won on that champion. He was the first to bring out the Skarner, and in this new patch 8.4 that we are playing on, I really want to see him bring out some new junglers, possibly a Volibear here, because I really like the buffs out to Volibear. So if there was somebody who would bring out that pick, it would be XDXP. And I think having that sort of trick up your sleeve might be the edge na kailangan nila para ma-overcome tong IPT. But we'll just have to wait and see pagdating natin sa drafting phase. But yeah, that's one of the things that he does bring to the table. He's quick to adapt to the patches and isn't afraid na maglabas ng mga bagong pick, especially in the jungle, where having that cheese junglers could really help your team.
Interesting that you bring that up kasi, I mean, further along, upon further investigation, upon further interview nga sa mga ibang members ng BRE, they did mention that, kaya nga nang na-mention, it would be nice to see if, not just XDXP, but probably across the board, if may makita tayong something fresh from Barca X3 Esports. Yun nga lang, of course, another factor that you have to put into account is that, it would be nice to bring out something great or something new to the table as far as their team is concerned. Yung as what they haven't shown yet nung group stage. Yun nga lang, ang isang factor kasing kinoconsider nila is whether or not yung na-practice lang mga bago actually fits into counterpicking in a way pagdating ng pick and ban phase. Kasi syempre, as much as you want to try something new, bring something new to the table, kung hindi naman siya angkop sa mga kalaban mo as far as not guaranteeing a win, pero propelling you to a potential win, then probably not the best way to go.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned counterpicking, pero I think one way you could work around that is unahan nyo na lang yung kalaban na force them to counterpick you and just sort of YOLO your pick where, okay, we're gonna try this because we tried it in practice and let's see how IPT will react. So yeah, that might be one of the ways kung paano niya ipapasok yung mga new picks that he's quite fond of so far in this PGS.
Anyways, we've talked a little bit about BRE. Talking about IPT naman, we've been yung nga, gaya nga mention mo kanina, it was a little bit of a question mark to all our viewers out there as to whether or not the Ivolus hit switcheroo would work. Pero nakita naman natin, ang ganda na naging performance ng IPT. In your opinion, Chisto, like, do you feel that yung demonstrate na game ng IPT kanino, was it an improvement in a way, this switcheroo, or
honestly, it was just one game, but I think for that game, Hate performed better as a jungler as he has an AD carry in the previous week. So I think this is a healthy change for them. But I think the question still remains, kaya ba ni Ivolus ituloy-tuloy yung performance niya at least to a competitive enough level on the AD carry role? Because like I think Vulcan mentioned in the previous match, Hate has played jungle professionally previously, whereas Ivolus on ADC is completely new to him. So we'll just have to wait and see as we progress through this best of 5.
I'd have to agree with you there, man. And with this question here when it comes to Ivolus, kasi I've worked with him prior to him being acquired ng IPT, and he was playing mid at that time sa team na hawak ko noon. So it's interesting that Ivolus, I mean, we've seen quite a number of players like Canon, like James, these type of players na kaya mag-adjust into various roles in a way. But Ivolus here, definitely a little bit of a test here. So far, a good showing, but I'm still looking to see if he could really take it to the next level, just like most of the marksmen that we have here in the playoffs, because it's pretty tight competition that we have right now.
Yeah, pero pinag-usapan namin mga role swap Arctic, di ba? I mean, it can work for some players. Internationally, we've seen Ambition move from mid to jungle, and it was very successful for Samsung in their World Championship run. And I think teams here are learning to sort of pick up on that, and maybe some players fit in a different role better. That's probably why IPT decided to go for this. I would describe it as a gamble, really, because if they wanted to experiment dito sa role swap, they would have probably done it during the regular season, but they did it for playoffs and for the first series they have as well. So maybe moving forward, this is a good thing for them. Pero yun nga, they've only won one game so far. It's still a question kung how this will pan out in the long run.
It's actually a pretty great way to put. Kasi kung isipin mo rin nga naman, di ba, ang usual natin na papag-usapan, okay, it's the group stage. Yung, kumbaga, ito yung panahon na you figure out what works best for your team, and to go into the playoffs with that sudden of a switch. Although, I wouldn't say it's necessarily sudden kasi gaya nga na-mention natin, at least Hate has played jungle in the past. Pero, you know, it's still a bit more riskier than just sticking to your guns as to what you've been playing for a full 7 weeks na nasa PGS ka.
I mean, it can be a gamble for IPT, pero kung titignan mo yung perspective ng other teams, and especially BRE right now, they don't know what Hate can bring to the jungle or what Ivalice can bring to the AD carry position. So, even if it is a gamble for IPT, parang question mark din siya for Barca X-Rage Esports kasi yun nga, hindi nila naiintindihan kung paano pag gumagana itong mga to. As we head straight into the pick and ban phase, let's see what these teams decide to pick up here. Looks like the bans from IPT double targeted at XDXP, so they're really putting a lot of focus onto the jungler of BRE.
And like we've been talking about earlier, XDXP is okay, triple jungle ban in fact onto XDXP. So ito ulit yung mga moment na we'd have to dig a little bit deeper into XDXP's pool, and I'm wondering kung dito nalalabas yung factor now if he has something new to bring to the table going into this match here.
Yeah, and now IPT are hovering over the Sire-Rakan duo, which is a very strong bot lane in my opinion. They synergize well with each other, but with BRE picking up the early Galio, they are hovering over the Camille. They need a jungler here. I really wouldn't be surprised to see them pick something such as a Jarvan if they want to deny that pick away from Hate, because he was playing that champion in the first game and I think it synergized well with the Galio, but no, they are going to go the route of the Leona. So we're not going to see the Jarvan-Galio combo yet in this game. Inaantay pa natin though kung ano yung i-decide na i-deny ng IPT as we head on the second part of the banning phase.
Also, another question that I have in mind is where they're going to be sending this Camille Barca X-Rage Esports. So, I guess malalaman natin just a bit. Interesting enough though, IPT, I mean, first rotation, may heavy focus kay XDXP. This time around, it'll be a heavier focus on the R-Dive, denying both the Vayne as well as the Tristana.
I actually think that BRE missed a very strong combo here because IPT already picked up their bot lane and support duo, so they had no incentives for picking up the Leona. I think it would be a smarter choice to go for the Jarvan and save their support pick for last, but I guess these are the consequences that they will have to live with as Arday has picked up the Ezreal here. And you mentioned kung saan nga mapupunta yung Camille because we have seen Camille jungle, pero since na-lock in yung Olaf dito, I think Camille will definitely go into Lando's hands in the top lane and XDXP will just play Olaf again.
We've mentioned picks here for Barca X-Rage Esports and kung what could have been done better. Actually, going back to my talks with some of the players, that was another thing that they did admit na they were working on in the process of the group stage heading into the playoffs. So I guess that is another factor that I'm wondering if it could hurt their chances heading into this match right here. Pero tingnan natin, we do have both sides with their compositions. What are your thoughts on what's going on here, Chiso?
Yeah, regardless of Barca X-Rage Esports missing a possibly super powerful draft there, I still like their chances here. They still have tools to enable Jaime to get into the middle of these fights. Of course, Olaf can easily dive the backline. Ipopop mo lang yung Ragnarok mo, diretso takbo ka lang dun sa likod, then the Galio can instantly ult you so that you get a nice damage reduction as well. And looking at Barca, they really want to force fights here. As for IPT, they also want to force fights here. Actually, they have the Rakan and the Jarvan to possibly dive in. But my largest question here is top lane because looking at this matchup, it looks like IPT really has stronger solo laners as far as picks go because looking at the mid matchup, Corki practically gets a free lane versus the Galio, whereas I think Renekton has a great time versus Camille, especially in the early phases where Renekton is just such a lane bully.
Man, and of course, we've seen the compositions, we've talked a little about them as well. Let us know rin kung ano yung thoughts nyo, whether kung saan man kayo nanonood sa Facebook Live ba or sa gaming.youtube.com/phgareena/live. Let us know kung sino ang sinusuportan nyo overall. Hashtag BRWin ba para sa Barca X-Rage Esports, or do you want to go all hail with hashtag IPTWin para sa Imperium Pro Team? Very interesting for both sides though. I mean, gaya nga nang na-mention mo, Imperium Pro Team, probably one of the heavier favorites in a way na i-take tong best of 5 considering that they do have the experience. We've seen players in past splits go through these type of scenarios and perform amazingly, and with the switcheroo, in fact, between Hate and Ivalis, doesn't really hurt them. In fact, probably strengthens their resolve in a way as far as how they've been playing so far. So, pretty good.
Yeah, and yun nga, this is a best of 5 Arctic and mas malapit na yung IPT na manalo dito sa best of 5. They are up 1-0, so momentum is on their side. Kung kayo yung BRE, iniisip nyo ngayon, ayaw naming fall down dito na 0-2 because that will just put so much more pressure on us. It will be match point yung kalaban namin. So, there's a lot on the line riding for this game 2. Tignan natin, will this go the same route as the earlier series that we witnessed? Will it go 1-1 similarly to Naga and PME? We'll just have to wait and see though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that far off a possibility, but then again, I mean, we still go back to some of the problems na meron yung Barcy XLH Esports yung group stage. But I guess, malalaman natin if nakorek nila yun. Makokorek ba nila in this match as we head on to the Rift in just a bit. See you there. At ayan na nga po mga kaibigan, is Imperial Protein gonna bring this to match point right off the bat by going 2-0? Or will Barcy X-Rage Esports make a comeback equaling the playing field 1-1? Malalaman natin yan as we head on to the Rift.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on this game, Arctic. Sobrang importante para sa BRE dito na they don't fall down 0-2 because that'll mean that IPT will be on match point, and if you're the new team going into this, kung kayo less experienced, you really don't want to face that situation because it puts such a mental toll on your players and may hirapan talaga sila moving forward. But yeah, looking at this game, I'm really interested to see kung paano magpa-pan out yung matchups ng solo laners ng BRE because it looks like IPT coming from the pick and ban phase have more favorable solo laners. The Corki will have a free farm lane versus a Galio. Walang magagawa si Jaime dito unless he can just outshove the Corki, which is practically impossible because Light will just constantly shove the wave to his tower. And looking at the top lane, Renekton will be able to bully the Camille in the early phases. So yun nga, I think this game rides on how well the solo laners of BRE can perform.
I guess it all comes down to, like, okay, so with its deficiency on Barcy X-Rage Esports' side, like, assuming that they do manage to last out this laning phase, at what particular point do they shine in the later parts of the game?
Well, when they can go for engages, especially since, even though the first game, XDXP was still had the priority as far as clearing jungle camps, where he constantly had the CS lead over his counterpart Hate in the jungle matchup. Yung tipong na-outfarm talaga ng Olaf kaso hindi niya nagamit yung lead na yun to look for fights. In this game though, madaming paraan yung BRE to go for engages and I really want to see them play a bit more aggressively in this game.
I guess we'll have to see, especially pag narating na natin yung mga bigger clashes na yan. But of course, let's go ahead and see how they fare in this laning phase thus far. Nakakita nga tayo ng early attempt ng galing kay Shadow to get a knock-up onto Ardai. Unfortunately, did not connect just by the tip of the edge of that radius. But so far, looks like for both junglers, however, will be transitioning towards the bottom side. So,
okay, nag-level 2 sila.
Yes. Ooh, again, another attempt coming in. But that's still not getting the connect. Shadow, we're seeing a lot of proactivity in the earlier phase, within the laning phase against Ardai and Shana.
Yeah, and that's smart na yung bot lane ng BRE, they immediately back off the moment na nag-level 2 yung bot lane ng IPT because that's really smart. Whoever hits level 2 first in this matchup can have that all-in advantage. And if Shadow was able to land a knock-up there, that would mean that Ardai would have possibly been forced to use his heal because that would definitely been an all-in from IPT. So wisely enough, they do back off.
Meanwhile, looking towards this top side, it's an interesting match that we have here. Not just the champions, pero generally si Lando at si Suzaku in general because Suzaku pretty much has cemented himself as probably one of the better top laners in the Philippines. And then going up against Lando, who also, I consider him a fresh talent. Andun yung potential niya. But how far you can stretch it, that's something I'm yet to see. So I guess this is a good test na rin to gauge that.
Yeah, and syempre pinag-usapan rin ng top lane, diba? Looking at their champions now, sobrang ibang... this is such a different scenario from the first game kasi nung unang game, it was Cho'Gath versus Sion. Both tanks, very tanky matchup. So there's no kill pressure from each side there. Pero looking at this, it's a very skill-infused matchup where the Camille has those windows kung saan kaya niyang i-outplay yung Renekton, possibly going for a kill. But seeing that they're now playing carries, I think this is a better stage for both Lando and Suzuki to show off what they can really do.
Meanwhile, a little bit of a trade here happening between Suzuki and Lando. Just a few scratches here and there. But yeah, I'd also like to check out, we did hover a little bit around dyan sa mid lane. So dito na lumalabas na Jaime just taking quite a number of hits from Light there. So in the long run, there could be a scenario where, okay, that is going to be the taunt in, and that's the knockup as well. Will it transition to a kill though? Patuloy pa rin inabot ni XDXB, and that will be first blood, clean enough going to RCX Regis.
Yeah, kahit nag-Valkyrie si Light doon, he was still caught by the flash taunt coming from Jaime, so that did mean na na-secure yung kill. And unfortunately, I think the cleanse was late. You cannot cleanse out of knockup, so he cleansed during the animation of Justice Punch, and unfortunately it wasn't enough for him to get away. So great proactivity there. BRE able to pick up first blood and onto the Olaf as well, so that's great for the early game.
Interesting enough, I was just about to bring up how Jaime, in the midst of just the plain 1v1, might have a little bit of a struggle. Lalo pag kapag nag-all-in si Light as far as damage goes, wherein Jaime hindi siya masyadong makabawi except for probably just a throw of a Q, or maybe could go in with a knockup into a taunt. But other than that, I think that was a good relief right there provided by XDXB going for that early gank sa lane.
Yeah, it also allowed Jaime to get a good recall and really set up his lane. But let's face it, Arctic, the Galio isn't going to build full damage in this matchup. And whereas Light will have more incentives kapag nag-build siya damage possible, Trinity Force into an Infinity Edge. And Jaime's role here, that now he has a bit of an advantage. He really needs to make his presence known in the side lanes, use the hero's entrance, and work with his jungler here to go for the ganks and try and get his side lanes ahead, because the Galio isn't going to be your primary carry.
True.
It's going to be the Camille and the Ezreal. So you want to use your advantage to give your other lanes the leads that they need.
A bit of a wonder here for me as well. I mean, we talked about this gank here that happened in the mid lane. At gaya nga nang na-mention mo, it's a plus na napunta kay XDXP yung kill. I'm wondering though what he'll be able to make of this though within the next few minutes. Kung may utilize or matitake advantage ba niya tong earlier on build-up.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Though I wouldn't be surprised na makita si XDXP to possibly visit the top lane. Tapos tawagin nila niya si Jaime to try and shut down Suzuka's Renekton, because Renekton as a champion is very, very inclined towards his early game, where kung hindi ka manalo ng lane, it's very hard for you to be relevant, especially in team fights. Whereas the Camille will always be useful with their X-Tech ultimatum and their potential to dive the backline with a hook shot. Whereas Suzuka's Renekton relies on bullying in lane and really crushing his opponent, pero he's not crushing Lando as hard as he should be to really be that super bully in the top lane.
Agreed. And overall, I mean, we've seen a few glimpses of trades happening here and there. It's pretty much going on even. But Lando not really getting faced, but that's going to be a full in-on commit onto Shanna. Shanna will slowly walk away though, but in the midst of that, takes quite a chunk at less than almost playing around half health.
Yeah, and I think since nag-miss yung Zenith Blade ni Leona, it prompted Shadow and Ivalice to go for a trade. Unfortunately, they did not go all in. I think they could have possibly forced out a Summoner spell there if they used the Ignite. So really not going for the all-in there. Really showing a lot of respect to BRE's bot lane.
I have to agree with you there, Chisto, but still, in the midst of things, interesting enough, with that trade between Ardai as well as Ivalice, I'm looking at the CS differences right now. Medyo nagkakaroon ng onting tilt towards Ardai's favor. 68 to 60. Although, yeah, we'll just have to see how that plays out though. I mean, overall though, amidst that advantage, as far as proactivity, mas nakikita ko siya so far kay Ivalice at kay Shadow whenever they find and seize that opportunity to trade.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Ivalice is new to this role, so the CS lead can be justified in a sense where Ardai is just way more used to this.
Ooh.
But there's a gank in the bot lane.
Yes, luckily that is a shift, but that's going to be the Cataclysm coming in from Mate to potentially lock down Ardai. Ardai was forced to flash away, but see Shanna as well. That will be the flash for safety, but two summoners. A lot of summoners actually expended, both from Ardai, one from Shanna. Good check for IPT.
Okay, mukhang diretsong Cataclysm lang yung gagawin ni Hate doon. Walang flag and drag combo na lalabas. But yeah, he did burn both the summoners. Ang tanong though, can they capitalize on this? Because yeah, if they burn the summoners but really don't get much value of it, oh, hold that thought, top lane.
Yes, a little trade. Jaime gonna go straight in to support Lando here. He's very, very low, but XDXE gonna help remedy that. Who will the kill go to? This might be Suzaku going down, and that will be Okay, a little bit of a stop right there, but in the end, Lando will secure that kill.
Sabi ko sa'yo, Arctic, igagank nila yung top lane. Tatawagin nila si Jaime para dumating doon. The advantages coming from mid lane, which allowed Jaime to roam, bled onto the top lane. Ginamit niya yung lead na meron siya sa mid lane to help out his top laner, which was under a lot of pressure versus Suzaku. But now, since the Renekton got shut down in lane, this gives Camille a lot of breathing room in the matchup. And gaya nga na sinabi ko, it's very difficult for Renekton to be relevant in the mid to late game if he doesn't come out of lane with a substantial lead.
So I guess at the end of the day, so para sa mga summoners natin, tawag dito, okay though, Lando very, very low on mana, but will get further pursued by Light. I don't see him surviving this, as Light will definitely get that kill onto the top laner of BRE.
Yeah, that's unlucky by Lando. He overextended, did not respect the roam coming from Light, so he will get punished for it. He will get a faster recall. He did pick up his Tiamat now though, so yeah, kahit na yun nga napatay nila, ito trade niya yung kill, Suzaku wasn't there to get XP or even a bit of assist gold. So that still means that Lando will have an easier time in this top lane, and he won't get bullied as much as bot lane.
Yes, and that might be Ardai near potential death as Hate goes straight into support his comrades right here. That's ADC down for BRE. Looks like Shanna might be the next. He gets the ultimate, but unfortunately won't be enough to save his life. XDXP and Jaime, they will try to remedy this though. Ivlis is the first to fall. Hate will he be the next casualty? That is the two-man knockup coming in from Shadow, but Shadow will end up sacrificing himself. Hate might actually be going down as well. Will flash at the last minute. Gus does not connect onto the Jarvan, and that ends in a 2-for-2.
Yeah, that's a great response by BRE. Immediately turning around the engage from Imperium Pro Team. Now they have to defend this bot lane tower, and Suzaku will teleport to try and defend. He will force the members of BRE away. But yeah, going back to that earlier gank by Hate, he did burn both summoners, which prompted Shadow to go for an engage. Immediately flashes in on the Rakan. Ang malas lang ng IPT because Jaime and XDXP read the play and they were there to respond in time.
Indeed, and at the end of the day, it looked pretty good here. We are still seeing a little bit of a balance, pero in the midst of yung teleport din ni Suzaku also gave a small bit of a window for Lando to just take whatever he can towards the top side in the midst of just staying solo there, but we just have to see how this transitions though.
Actually, speaking of Lando Arcing, nag-teleport siya sa mid lane to deny the push coming from Light, because if Light was able to take down that mid lane tower, it would have meant that Jaime would have been relegated to just constantly clear the wave in the mid lane, and he wouldn't be able to roam as Ivals will be aggressed on here.
Ooh, nice dodge there from Ivals to get that connect, to at least avoid the connect coming in from Shanna, so pretty darn good.
Yeah, pero yun nga, going back to the point I was trying to make where Lando burned his teleport just to defend the mid lane tower. Kung nakuha ni Light yung tower na yan, it would mean that he could constantly shove in this Galio and hindi makakapag-roam si Jaime. And if the Galio isn't allowed to roam, madede na yung hero's entrance niya, which is probably the largest tool that he has to be effective for the rest of his team. So that's a great play by BRE's top laner, not letting the mid lane tower go down.
Well, so far nakikita nga tayo ng onting step up from Barca X-Rage Esports as far as kung ano yung nagiging galaw nila dito sa Summoners early on during this game. Pero I go back to their habits right here. Definitely a greater start here in comparison to game 1 in my opinion. But then again, we still see these few fumbles once we do hit those later parts, lalo pagdating ng mid and late. So I'm wondering if BRE can keep it consistent.
Yeah, alam mo, Arctic, that great start can be credited to XDXV's performance on this Olaf. By far, he's 2-0 and 2, 100% kill participation. And yun nga, gaya na sinabi mo, kaya ba lang ituloy yung consistency nito and it translates siya into that mid-game, because looking at early game, IPT do have the push advantage as far as chip damage onto the towers. Ang tanong lang talaga, makakagawa kaya ng engage yung BRE where after they pick up kills, they can translate that into towers.
Ooh, with Ardai though, he might potentially be going down. That is going to be the shift out of there. Takes quite a bit of damage though. So he'll have to take it a bit more easier. Looks like we will go back to taking that last great wave before making a recall.
Yeah, Ezreal is very hard to lock down actually, Arctic. Regardless of Rakan having one of the best engages in the game, Ezreal is still a very slippery AD carry as Barca X-Rage Esports have spawned the Rift Herald mid to try nilang i-brute force yung tower na to.
Looks like Light and Hate, they are resolute on making the defense though. Fortunately, BRE, hindi nila matitake pa tong turtle, so they do get a significant chunk though, courtesy of Rift Herald. Pero hindi masyadong sulit in my opinion.
Yeah, that is a bit of chip damage. I think it would have been better to possibly go for a gank and pick up a kill, or at least force somebody out before you spawn the Rift Herald. Tsaka nyo i-try push yung tower. So I think that was a bit impatient by
Yeah.
Barca XRH Esports. Not much value gained from the Rift Herald, but it's still good chip damage on the mid lane towers. Top lane,
Ooh, bit of a stun there onto Lando, but at the midst of that, Lando, hindi kailangan mag-ingat. He is half at its health right now, so doesn't want to push it too much.
you know, whenever Camille uses her hook shot, then she delays it like that. I kind of hold my breath, Artie. Parang inaabang ko, babalik kaya to? And yeah, it looks like ayaw muna makipaglaban ni Lando because like we mentioned before, Renekton does have a fairly good time in this matchup and it shows he's still able to bully Lando. And I think part of the reason is because Lando did have the advantage. Unfortunately, he did not respect the roam from light earlier. And that's why the matchup is still going fairly even at the moment.
Overall, let's go and see XDXP. He is managing this wave here, pero mukhang paparating na rin si Light. And Hate, I'm not sure if he's going to make that transition towards mid, but looks like just to make sure that that wave is cleared out, this turret is fairly low. Wala pa nga tayo nakikitang mga turret take, mga kaibigan. So, could be crucial, this first turret.
Yeah, that first turret is definitely crucial, Arthur, because both of these mid laners, they like to roam. Galio wants to be in side lanes and really pressuring the enemy team, whereas Corky, with his package, he wants to go for those plays where he dives the backlane, possibly goes for kills. Pero yun nga, since both mid lane towers are up, none of the mid laners can still roam because, yeah, like I mentioned, both towers is up.
Oh, but interesting enough, Shanna and Lando are going to be converging onto Suzaku here. Hextech Ultimatum will be popped to get that lockdown onto Suzaku. Is he going to be a dead crocodile though? Looks like he's going to dash his way out of there. Fortunately, won't be enough for BRE to secure that kill. Pero mukhang delikado din si Ardai dito. He will have to back away.
He does have his summoners.
Here comes Light. That's going to be a 4-man brawl right onto the ADC of RCXH Esports. Taunt coming in from Jaime, but it looks like Ardai, will he live to tell the tale? No, unfortunately, it's not enough. Shadow will get the kill through the Ignite. Teleport will come in from Lando. Can they at least salvage this fight though? Patuloy pa rin hinabol ni Jaime itong si Hate, but Hate is just gonna flag and drag out of there.
Yeah, yun yung magandang use ng flag and drag. He used it through the stun, but oh, Shanna
actually finds Hate in the jungle of BRE. Then XCXP just gonna throw an axe for the kill.
Yeah, unfortunately for Hate, he did have his flash, which he could have used for escape, but oh, they're still going.
Yeah, they're still going. Jeez, though, Suzaku just gonna get a dash out, but takes quite a bit of damage in the midst of that. They're gonna be resolute on making sure they try to at least defend this turret right here. Take note, wala pa rin first turret take amidst yung action na nakita natin sa bot lane. So this mid lane turret could go down any moment.
Yeah, and in the end, it looks like IPT will be the ones who are able to pick up the kill after all that action across the map. Nakita natin, it all started in the top lane where BRE tried to make a play onto Suzuko. Unfortunately, I think there was a bit of a fumble dun sa kanilang chain CC. They burned the Hextech ultimatum incredibly early, and Suzuku, patient enough, he waited to use the slice and dice after the Camille ult had timed out, which allowed for him to escape. But bot lane, Ardai wasn't as slippery under the tower, with IPT roaming with the package from Corky and 4 members as well. Si Jaime lang yun dun para bantayan siya, and yeah, in the end, Jaime was not enough to protect him, and they were able to pick up the kill onto the Ezreal. But the important thing is, no objectives were taken from the map kahit na sobrang daming nangyari.
Indeed, but looks like we will finally see an objective potentially taken. Jeez, though, Shanna will join the party as well. Will they try to commit onto Hate? Looks like BRE, maging kontento na lang sila sa pag-take ng turret. That's pretty good though. First turret, nakita na natin finally will be taken by BRE. Let's go ahead and see where this leads.
Yeah, nakita mo yung commitment ng BRE na i-push lang yung mid lane. They use their Rift Herald to chip it down. Then XDXP is constantly shoving in the wave. Whenever magre-recall si Light, XDXP is mid lane to shove the minions so that there's more chip damage onto the towers, and in the end, they sent enough members to just force it down really.
And it's interesting though because at least medyo mabibigyan na ng breathing room si Jaime to make clear response whenever action does happen across the board dito sa Summoners Rift. And we've talked about how for both sides, once lanes are a bit pushed in towards their respective lanes, could kind of go for plays across the board. And it's interesting how the dynamics differ though amidst that. Kung titingnan mo si Jaime on this Galio, has a little bit more of that utility to help his other members shine. Deals decent damage as well though, in all fairness. But for Light, has a lot of that damage, but looks like we're going to be seeing a solid dive coming here from Lando. Styles his way out of there and survives to tell the tale amidst that 3-man dive from IPT. Wow.
Yeah, I like the initial start from IPT. They were able to chain the CC, but Lando was able to buy enough time with his X-Tech ultimatum, dodging out from the damage and using his hookshot as well to get away. It looks like with 3 members of IPT going bot lane, makukuha ni Arda itong top lane tower with a few more hits. One more. Go.
More, and that's going to be another turret right there for Varsity XRH Esports. Not bad. I really like the pace that they're picking up. But medyo curious akong makakita kung ano mangyayari once we do hit a bigger clash between both BRE as well as IPT. Jaime gonna be helping out Shauna here to make sure that she walks away just fine. That will be your front onto 8, but here comes the rest of the members of IPT. Is Jaime gonna regret the salvage onto the support? Shauna gonna try to ultimate to hold off the rest of IPT from pursuit. XDXP actually going for the front line. Shauna goes for the initiate as well. Jaime gets the 3-man knockup onto the members of Hero Voting. That's gonna be like who goes down in a jiffy. Are we gonna see more hate? Looking very, very low as well. Mukhang pa-retreat na tong IPT. XP gets the kill onto Hate. They're not done just yet. Shadow actually takes the true shot barrage from Ardai. I believe he's trying to walk this out, but that will ultimately end in, wow, a 3-0 in favor of Barcy X-Rage Esports.
Yan, kakabanggit mo lang, Arctic. We were about to see a big fight, and right there, that was a big fight for BRE. Massive fight, and even though that was a 3v4, BRE were still able to come out on top, and with that, they are rewarded with this Mountain Drake. And man, XDXP looks so angry on this Olaf. He's playing super duper aggressively here, and I think he's really carrying his team.
I have to agree with you there. It's like we're seeing a little bit of the dark XDXP in a way, just kind of waking up from his slumber that was kind of absent during Game 1, finally picking up the pace during Game 2 at napag-usapan natin kanina, like during his, I think that was a 202 phase. Let's check out this replay first of all.
Like I mentioned, this was a 3v4, but there's also a Fed Olaf on BRE's side. And look at the play from Jaime here. He CC locks everyone. This is a great knockup on everyone. Great 3-man taunt as well. And XDXP, with the great target selection, really chooses the right target to go for here. And he's just able to clean up.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful from BRE. Finally, we're seeing the potential that everybody has been talking about. Yeah. A lot of people know that they had it in them, but no, still, the game isn't done yet. There's still a lot of room for IPT to maneuver. Pero so far, medyo distinctive na yung difference. We're seeing a 5,000 gold lead na nanggaling dito sa Barcy XRH Esports. Not to mention, Baron is up now, so this could get juicy, Cheester.
Yeah, there is a window that BRE are playing with where Olaf will not be as relevant in the late game. He will be easily kited back from and bursted down. But yeah, since they are ahead right now, XDXP is 5-0-3 on this Olaf. Still 100% kill participation. Really the anchor that's pushing his team forward. BRE need to push the tempo now. They need to keep going, keep pulling the trigger, possibly go for the Baron, and put IPT in a much harder spot than they are right now.
To be fair, actually, not just for XDXP, but for Jaime as well on this Galio, playing at 100% kill participation. And dito pumapasok yung sinasabi nating value ni Jaime once we do hit those bigger fights. Oo, during the earlier phase ng first 2 minutes ng game, understandable, Light definitely gonna give him a little bit of a harder time just by the nature of what damage Light has plus the range versus melee. But at the end of the day, Jaime made a beautiful transition from that struggle heading into the mid phase right here.
Yeah, and you mentioned dito na nga tayo sa mid-game, Arctic, and we saw earlier the priority that BRE put into trying to take down the towers. During the earlier phases, I kept mentioning where IPT solo laners definitely have advantage in the laning phase, so BRE worked hard to end it as soon as they could, and the results are showing right now. Jaime and Lando are having a great time in this mid-game because they're free from the laning phase where IPT solo laners have the general advantage, and that's why we see BRE pushing ahead in this game.
Still, we've talked about how medyo they're on a little bit of a ticking time bomb in a way. At least IPT kind of being that bomb in the later parts. But for XDXP at least, because he has that substantial lead, at what point can we say it's gonna be that moment where the window starts closing?
They're fighting!
Meanwhile, wow, Lando getting quite a bit of damage onto Suzuku, still pursuing this Crocodile, just trying to flee the scene, and looks like we'll manage to escape, but wow, that 1v1. Lando coming up on top there.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, Arctic, the laners of IPT are extremely strong in lane, but since Barcy worked hard to end the laning phase as soon as they could, that means that Lando and Jaime can just wreak havoc across the map right now, and really, it shows now. Lando can already 1v1 Suzuku at this point, but ooh, that's a pick onto Lando.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate for the top laner BRE right there, pero still, we are seeing a fight here. Barcy XRH Esports, they want to try to go for Ivalis. That's going to be a full lockdown coming in from Sean. Just one more hit. Ardai getting the kill. Suzuku goes for the teleport. Can he relieve things? Actually gets caught between 4 members going straight at him. That is going to be a lockdown stun onto Hate. Meanwhile, IPT, they're going for the further pursuit, but still, members of BRE is looking pretty good. Are they gonna push it though?
Yeah, and gusto ko yung move na ginawa ng BRE doon. Regardless of Lando getting picked off, they were decisive in pulling the trigger. Alam nila na meron silang numbers advantage on one side of the map, and using the lead that they have, using this Olaf, but whoa, this is such a bold call.
Oh, very gutsy. Coming in from Varsity X-Rage Esports. Makukontes kaya tayo.
Alam ba ito ng IPT? I think IPT, no.
Yeah, Hate is in the vicinity as well to go for a potential steal should he decide to go for it. Meanwhile, looks like Lando gonna go for the Hextech Ultimatum to prevent just that, and that's gonna be the takedown onto 8. Looks like BRE, they could potentially secure this Baron. Shadow just kind of lingering there, but that will be Baron for Varsity X-Rage.
Oh, they flashed in for that. Ooh. He really wants Shadow.
Yeah, Shadow is just continuing to walk away. Shanna tries to get the lockdown, but no, won't be enough. Pero, at the end of the day, mission accomplished para sa Varsity X-Rage Esports. They do get Baron.
Yeah, that is a Baron going over to Varsity X-Rage Esports. It was a bold call, and it ended up being the right call. They played that beautifully. Kahit na alam ng IPT na sinisimula ng BRE yung Baron, they used the tools that they have to deny the jungler from getting into the pit. They burned the Hextech Ultimatum and chained it with the heroes entered as well. And the moment that Hate died, there really wasn't any way that IPT could have gotten a steal there. So great play by BRE, and this is what they have to do to end the game on top.
Man, and at the end of the day, we're still looking at 100% kill participation from both Jaime as well as XP, really proving to be pivotal characters to realizing the potential success for BRE in this game. IPT, let's go ahead and see though. Pero, leading to a question that I wanted to bring up earlier, at what point in the game can IPT start breathing a little bit more lighter to transition into the later part of the game wherein they do have the advantage?
I like how you said lighter, Arctic, no pun intended, but the moment the light gets the scale on this Corki, I mean, let's face it, Arctic, the Olaf won't be your main damagers. From BRE's comp, it's just Ardai it's Ardai and Lando that really focus on that damage part, whereas for IPT, Light and Ivers can really scale into the late game, and having double marksman, unless you're able to engage on them, which BRE do have, unless they're able to catch out Light, and if they let Light scale into the late game, that might be IPT's window to possibly get back into the game. But since BRE are constantly pushing the tempo of the game here, and with the banner of command minion as well, talagang ayaw nilang tigilan ayaw lang hayaan tong IPT na magpa-late game lang eh.
Man, I'm having flashbacks of Ardai just running the gutsy Ezreal. Remember? I don't know if you remember that game. Naalala mo yung nagda-dragon yung Varsity X-Rage.
No, it's actually Baron where he, yeah, siya yung mismo magzo-zone sa enemy
exactly.
jungler kahit na siya yung AD carry. But yeah, it looks like wala siyang fear, wala siyang takot dito eh. He's just constantly going in.
And looks like BRE, they're making pretty good use of this Baron. Already, all second-tier turrets are down from Imperium Pro Team. At mas magkakaroon ng control itong BRE as far as this map, whether in terms of vision or just generally IPT being cautious of not overextending their boundaries as far as position dito sa mapa.
Yeah, alam mo, hindi lang position yung lamang ng Varsity X-Rage Esports dito. They also have the tower lead, and it's led to them getting a 10k gold lead at 26 minutes. This is incredibly hard to overcome, and I think they are being rewarded for just the way that their mid and jungle duo have played here. Jaime and XDXP have always been on point, working as a team to really put their side, really put their team ahead. And it shows here as the package will be burnt top lane.
Wow, Lando just styles his way out of there, avoiding imminent damage from both Light and ooh, I'm gonna have to hold off right there though. That's gonna be a taunt onto Hate. Hate is trying to make his way out of there, but Jaime immediately gets him before he can. And this is gonna be BRE. Are they gonna go for the finish though? XDXP, he tries to charge in onto Light. Light gonna Valkyrie his way out of there, but Lando goes for the lockdown. Hextech ultimatum onto Suzaku. Suzaku, he's trying to make his way out of there. Unfortunately, Jaime not getting a knockup, but still the damage is just too much for IPT to deal with here. BRE, they're styling their way, but still two members of BRE have gone down in the process. Ardai, he's trying to go for the cleanup. He wants to be careful though. I was forced to ultimate to avoid that last shot right there. And looks like BRE, I don't think they can finish the game, but that's a lot of inhibitors and pretty much structures down for IPT.
Yeah, with Jaime and Lando down, I don't think they are going to be able to end here. They're respecting the damage coming out of Light and Ivalice. Pero looking at that play, BRE are so confident to push forward. Hindi sila natakot na mag-dive dun because they're just that far ahead. They're just muscling their way through IPT. Now it's only top lane remaining, so after Ardai and Shanna reset here, I wouldn't be surprised to see BRE just all 5-man in the top lane and really try to take that tower down as soon as they can.
And this is so tricky for Imperium Pro Team kasi napag-usapan nga natin na their moment to shine would be if they could transition better into the later parts of the game. And looking at the minutes right now, let's check out this replay first though.
Yeah, look at how confident BRE is to just dive here. This is just them showing off that they have a 10k gold lead. The moment that Hate dies, there's no front line left for Light and Suzaku. For Light and Ivalice, I should correct myself right there. But yeah, the moment na no tanks are in front of them, there's really no fear for Barca X3H Esports here. They're just that ahead. And it shows.
Definitely, but that's the unfortunate thing for Imperium Pro Team at the other end of the spectrum. Kumbaga, if we're gonna look at the minutes, by the minutes, technically, nagta-transition tayo to the late game, but where they're at right now, they're far from actually being in that element right now, just because of how much they've fallen behind in this game. And Barca X3H Esports just propelling themselves so well into a potential forward victory.
Yeah, this is looking like a 1-1 Arctic unless they can catch Ardai here.
Yes, Ardai caught quite a bit of that, but Jaime, he's gonna try to salvage things. Ardai gets immediately dived in by Hate, but looks like in the process they do lose out on Suzaku. Hate might actually be the next casualty here. Patuloy pa rin hinabol ni Jaime. Tsaka ni Shanna, that will be the stun in on lockdown, and Jaime getting yet another kill right there is BRE. Or do they have the potential to go for the finish though? Ardai, he is down. That is quite a bit of AD lost out.
Yeah, that is a bit lost out. They still do have the Olaf to deal the damage to these towers. I don't think they need Ardai to take down this tower, but yeah, can BRE go for the end here? Light and Ivalice need to defend.
And they are indeed, of course, di sila masyado makapag-all in just because of that threat of getting locked down by Barca X3H Esports. But in the midst of that, BRE gonna take that advantage right there by just chunking down this inhibitor down and leaving the base of Imperium Pro Team quite vulnerable at this point. That is gonna be the taunt in Jaime. Gonna dash his way out of there. And still, BRE, mukhang hinay muna sila, but that's a lot that they can work with right now. IPT, it's such a struggle.
Yeah, ayaw ng BRE mag-overextend dito because if they get caught out and IPT are able to pick up kills, kaya nilang i-transition into a Baron that is spawning very soon. Now, since IPT were able to pick off Ardai at the start of all that fighting in the top lane, I think they are able to delay the game a bit. Pero this is looking like a very clear 1-1 Arctic.
We'll just have to see though. I mean, from what we saw earlier, in all fairness, Imperial Pro Team, they were able to get Ardai earlier on, pero syempre, even in the longer run, they did lose out on an inhibitor though, just because of how overwhelming ang BRE pa rin.
Yeah, now the Baron will be spawning in the next 2 seconds. Ang tanong, kaya ba ng IPT i-challenge tong Baron na to? It is a very difficult challenge if they do want to make it, but it is doable. They have a bit of time here, but they have to defend their Nexus.
Light is going to get cut off, and Jaime not able to catch him in time, but that will be a true shot barrage sent flying by Ardai. Meanwhile, BRE, they're just making sure to push out these lanes. First, Light going to go straight in. Deals quite a bit of damage onto Jaime right there. Jaime will be forced to back away, but Light, he wants to go full commit onto the. That's going to be Hate locking down Jaime in that Cataclysm. Shutdown coming in from Ivalice, and looks like we're going to see the breathing room right here. Lando, though, tries to go for the Hextech Ultimatum onto Light, but it won't be enough. They do lose out on, is that going to be, yes, both Nexus turrets though.
Yeah, that's a bit sloppy by BRE, giving up two of their laners just for the Baron. The Nexus turrets did fall down from IPT side. Now they will be forced to defend. I think for BRE ngayon, aantayin lang nila mag-spawn si Jaime and Lando. They can just teleport in and go for the end here.
Exactly.
Or, mag-aantay pa kaya sila?
Are they going to go ramming straight in? That is going to be Baron buff minions plus BRE themselves ramming in onto this Nexus here. That's going to be 2 members of IPT down. And I think Chisto, this could be the equal 1-1 BRE. They're still looking for kills, but they go for the Nexus. Ladies and gents, the feel is pretty much equal as BRE takes it 1-1 against IPT.
Yeah, that did get quite messy towards the end, pero yun nga, that's just how far ahead BRE were at that point of the game where they don't even need Jaime or Lando to end the game. It's just didiretso nilang tatlo, and yeah, like that. It's a tied 1-1 here. So yeah, looking back at that match, I think BRE adjusted beautifully. And for IPT, like we mentioned, how will the role swap pan out as this best of 5 goes? In game 1, it looked very good. In game 2, it didn't look very nice.
Not at all, Chisto. But overall, interesting circumstance that we're in right now. Kasi with this win right here by BRE, for the quarterfinal, as far as the quarterfinals is concerned, hindi tayo makakita ng clean 3-0. There is the moment of contention for both sides, pero the bigger question, of course, is whether or not who is gonna win at the end of the day. So, going into the next game though, like, what do you think IPT should be doing as far as what mistakes they might have done in game 2, correcting that going into game 3?
I mean, they can't let Jaime and XDXP run amok like that again. They can't let the Galio. I think they can't let the Galio go through. I think it's just such a power pick for BRE, and they're able to play around that champion extremely well. So as far as pick and ban goes, probably don't give BRE Galio.
Potentially. I guess we'll just have to see if that is something IPT will potentially be doing into Game 3. But syempre, malalaman natin yan in just a bit. But for the meantime, quick break muna tayo, guys. We've been your casters, Arctic at your service, fam. At syempre, kasama ko si Chisto. Ito ang 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series, the playoffs. Kita-kits tayo in just a while. But for the meantime, stay tuned, guys. Salvage onto the support. Shanna gonna try to ultimate to hold off the rest of IPT from pursuit. XDXP actually going for the front line. Shanna goes for the initiate as well. Jaime gets the 3-man knockup onto the members of Hero Vote Team. That's who goes down in a jiffy. Are we gonna see more hate? Looking very, very low as well. Mukhang pa-retreat na tong IPT. XDXP gets the kill onto hate. They're not done just yet. Shadow actually takes the true shot barrage from Ardai. Ivolis, he's trying to walk this out with the charge in onto Light. Light gonna Valkyrie his way out of there, but Lando goes for the lockdown. Hextech Madam onto Suzaku. Suzaku, he's trying to make his way out of there. Unfortunately, Jaime not getting a knockup, but still the damage is just too much for IPT to deal with here. BRE, they're styling their way, but still 2 members of BRE have gone down in the process. Ardai, he's trying to go for the cleanup. He wants to be careful though. I was forced to ultimate to avoid that last shot right there. And looks like quite a bit of that, but Jaime, he's going to try to salvage things. Ardai gets immediately dived in by Hate, but looks like in the process they should move out on Suzuki. Hate might actually be the next casualty here. Patuloy pa rin hinabol ni Jaime. Tsaka ni Shanna, that will be the stun in on rate. And he's quite a bit of damage onto Jaime right there. Jaime will be forced to back away, but Light, he wants to go full commit onto the. That's going to be Hate locking down Jaime in that Cataclysm. Shutdown coming in from Ivolis. And looks like we're going to see the breathing room right here. Lando go. Exactly. Magante pa kaya sila? Are they going to go ramming straight in? That is going to be Baron Minions plus BRE themselves ramming in onto this Nexus here. That's going to be 2 members of IPT down. And I think Chisto, this could be the equal 1-1 BRE. They're still looking for kills, but they go for the Nexus. Ladies and gents, they feel it's pretty much equal as BRE takes it 1-1 against IPT.
Yeah, that did get quite messy towards